Thanks, Sophie. Hello there. Good evening and welcome to Look North. On the programme tonight, Chancellor and Yorkshire MP Rachel Reeves unveils her budget, but how will it go down 200 miles from Westminster?
For people in Leeds, West and Pudsey and people all around the country, in Yorkshire and beyond, there will be a reduction of £150 in your energy bills from April next year. That is tangible difference, money in the pockets of working people.
We will be live at Westminster. Also, mayors are to be given powers to impose a tourist tax. It's been described as game-changing.
A nominal fee on overnight stays could potentially bring up to £50 million investment into an area like ours, driving much needed investment into transport and actually supporting the hospitality tourism sector.
Away from the budget, we meet the Yorkshire boy who's been named Young Person of the Year by a disability charity.
And I'm at an ice rink in Leeds where they are attempting to set a brand new world record tonight for the most number of high fives ever recorded in 30 seconds. Don't leave me hanging! Yes!
Well, it's a very cold start, -6 at Topcliffe Steam, coming off the river there in Castleford, but it's all changed tomorrow. Some spots might be as high as 15 degrees. Join me for the very latest.
Hello there, good evening. It's great to have your company tonight. As you may have heard, the Chancellor and Leeds West Pudsey MP Rachel Reeves has unveiled her autumn budget in the House of Commons. So she set out her spending and tax plans and also announced extra funding for our region. Tonight we're going to hear from our political editor and our business correspondent on what all of this means for you. We're also going to get your views as well. We'll also crunch the numbers with a financial expert. But first, here are some of the big changes and the big headlines. Bigger families will get more support as the two-child benefit cap is lifted from April 2026. The threshold that determined the percentage of income tax that you pay will be frozen for longer, meaning long-term, more people will pay a higher amount. Homes worth more than £2 million will pay more council tax. The current 5p cut of duty on petrol and diesel will last until September next year, but will then rise. The minimum wage for over 21s is to rise by 4.1% in April, and for 18 to 20-year-olds, it will go up by 8.5%. Basic and new state pensions will increase also by 4.8% from April, which is more than the current rate of inflation. Let's cross now to our editor, our political editor even, James Vincent, who's in Westminster for us this evening. James, how has this all gone down?
Yeah, evening, Amy. Welcome to Westminster. We've nipped across the river. It's far too busy over there. We get a better view from here. It's that part of the programme where we try and work out what Rachel Reeves' budget means for your household budget. We'll talk to some of the politicians in a second. Don't worry, we've got loads of those to speak to. But let's talk to the voters. What do people think of Rachel Reeves' budget today? Tom Ingall's been in Thurgoland and Deepcar asking people how they feel.
If you're small enough for the play gym, your only care in the world is who's next on the slide. Not so the business owner or your parents in the moments before the budget.
People come, they pay to play, they maybe don't stay for lunch, they go and have lunch at home instead. And obviously as a small business, we rely heavily on the income from the cafe.
I've got 3 children at home, so just keeping food on the table and keeping them clothed is our main priority. Everything feels really tight.
These days 2 parents have to work, whereas before you could manage on a lesser wage or maybe just one income, and you could, as a mum, maybe look after the children and stay at home a little bit.
It's not a luxury, it's a right to play.
The OBR have upgraded Britain's growth for this year from 1% to 1.5%.
The Commons sounded much noisier than a play gym when the Chancellor did get to her feet. At the Bridge Inn in Thurgoland, the regulars settled in for a 75-minute speech.
Nothing is simple, straightforward. You have to look into all the facts and figures first and see how much it's going to impact my life and my family's life.
The triple lock's maintained, isn't it?
Yeah, that's fine. There are still a lot of pensioners that cannot afford the heating. If they have the heating, they cannot afford to eat.
I didn't realise they had a 2-cab child benefit, but you know, if they're going to remove the cab, I don't understand where the extra money is coming from.
They've got no aims, no ambition, nothing. They're just, apart from, I bet tax bill will be up again in 3 months.
It feels like the budget has lasted all of November, but it's finally landed. Perhaps, though, the real test of people's feelings will be when Christmas expenses come knocking. Tom Ingle, BBC Look North, Thurgoland.
Really interesting stuff from South Yorkshire there. Back to Westminster and the politics of it all. I'm going to bring in our political reporter Gemma Dillon. Gemma, you spent the day yesterday in Pudsey, Rachel Reeves' constituency, and you tracked her down today and you asked her the all-important questions, didn't you?
I did indeed, James. Yes, in the Chancellor's constituency yesterday, people really struggling with that rise in cost of living and acceptance. People should maybe pay more to get the services they want, but some simply don't have any more to give, any more to pay. Now, you know what it's like, James, on budget day. We normally struggle to get anywhere near the Chancellor, but I've been pushing for the past couple of months so we could have or hear from our Yorkshire Chancellor, and last night I got a call from the Treasury inviting me to her post-budget press conference at a hospital in London. Here's what happened.
We're going to take a few questions now from the media, and Gemma, a few months ago I promised that Look North would get the first question post budget, and I'm going to deliver on my word, Gemma. So I'll talk directly to the people of West Yorkshire, but especially Leeds.
Yes, well, it's good to see you keep a promise, Chancellor. I was talking to people on the high street in Pudsey yesterday in your constituency, and it won't surprise you, they are really struggling with the cost of living. They see the price of things go up and up and up, and wages haven't kept pace with it. Businesses are still reeling after the measures in last year's budget, and today extending that freeze on income tax thresholds will really hit working people. So when you're back up north, what will you say to your constituents? Can you look them in the eye and say things are going to get better because of the budget?
So for people in Leeds West and Pudsey and people all around the country, in Yorkshire and beyond, there will be a reduction of £150 in your energy bills from April next year. That is tangible difference, money in the pockets of working people. And in addition to that, we're freezing NHS prescription charges. We're freezing train fares. So if you're getting on the train in Bramley or in New Pudsey, it's going to be a bit cheaper than it would have been next year. And we're doing all of those things because I know that the cost of living is still a real challenge for people.
Lots of name checks there in West Yorkshire from the Chancellor. Gemma, it's all right for us tonight. We get to hang around in London. When we go back to the day job and you go back to Pudsey, go back to her constituency, what do you think her constituents are going to make of what she said today?
Well, clearly, as you heard there, Rachel Reeves will be hoping some of those eye-catching measures, scrapping the 2-child benefit cap, lifting the minimum wage, will appeal to people. She has admitted, though, that working people will have to pay a little bit more. What I think the Chancellor is also hoping that people look around and see who else is also paying a little bit more. Some of those measures targeted at the very wealthy, like the so-called mansion tax, so a new tax for people who live in properties worth over £2 million. But we'll have to wait and see, James, how it's gone down.
Thank you very much, Gemma. Great work today. Obviously, not everybody is happy with the budget. We've heard what Labour are saying about it. Here's what the Conservatives and the Liberal Democrats in Yorkshire say about the budget today.
You're increasing taxes on working people to pay for people who are working less or not working at all. That can't be right. And if you add all this up over the next few years, over the budget period, about a 5-year period, it increases income taxes by about £120 billion from those people who are working, and increases the cost of welfare by about £90 billion. I think that's totally unfair. The best way, of course, nobody wants to see children in poverty, but the best way out of poverty is to make sure those parents of those children are in work, in well-paid work.
the biggest thing that seems to stand out in there is just more tax on milkshakes, more tax on high value properties, you name it, it's tax and spend. It's the same old from the Labour government. And people wouldn't mind that if they were going to be seeing real investment. But then there's a complete lack of proper infrastructure investment announced as well. There's repackaging of things we've already heard and we've already seen before, but there's no new real vision. And what I'm really struggling with is just trying to actually understand what this Labour government's about.
There's some big headlines in this budget away from the general tax stuff, the mine workers' pensions, which we'll delve into in a bit more detail tomorrow. That hotel levy we'll talk about in a second, and the Leeds fund, you know, keeping the business rates and spending that on Leeds. We'll be delving into that as well. But the budget is always about your personal situation. Everybody will have a different personal relationship with this budget. You know, everybody has different circumstances, and it will not matter exactly how you are coping or not coping. It will, what you said in that chamber today will make a huge difference to everybody. But yeah, we'll be back later on tonight and tomorrow for some more reaction to what Rachel Reeves has said.
Indeed, Will. James, thank you. And let's get that reaction now a little bit closer to home. English regional mayors are to be given powers to tax overnight stays in hotels and holiday lets. James mentioned that a little bit there, didn't he? We can cross now to our business correspondent, Spencer Stokes. He's in York for us tonight to see how it's gone down in that tourist destination. A super busy time of year with that Christmas market, Spencer.
Yes, it is, Amy, although a little bit quieter tonight because it's pouring down here in York city centre at the Christmas market, so perhaps not quite as busy as it would normally be, but an early Christmas present for York and North Yorkshire's regional mayor, because since he was elected earlier last year, he's been campaigning for the right to introduce this visitor levy, or visitor tax, as some people call it, and that would be an additional charge for tourists, for visitors spending an overnight stay in the city. Now, he estimates it could raise approximately £50 million every year from overnight stays across York and across North Yorkshire, a not insignificant amount of money. But how's it gone down in the city? What do hoteliers and the hospitality industry think of that? Well, we've spent the afternoon here finding out. It's one of the most visited places in the UK. 41 million people every year come to York and North Yorkshire. All those tourists are a potential source of extra revenue. And today the government gave the go-ahead for regional mayors to introduce a visitor levy, a small fee paid at hotels to be reinvested locally. Something that Mayor David Scaife says will be hugely beneficial for the area.
The tourism levy is absolutely game-changing for an area like York and North Yorkshire. A nominal fee on overnight stays could potentially bring up to £50 million investment into an area like ours, driving much-needed investment into transport and actually supporting the hospitality tourism sector, driving more visitors here, increasing that spending here and really supporting that much-needed sector across our patch.
Have you decided what the charge will be?
This is all working out now. So today was the first step announced by the Chancellor. We now want to work with the hospitality sector, tourism sector, local authorities and businesses to understand what a fee might be in terms of a nominal amount, a percentage, how it will be collected.
The scheme takes inspiration from similar charges in Paris, Rome and in Scotland, where visitors are charged 5% extra per person per night on hotel stays. But champagne corks aren't popping at this York hotel.
I and other hoteliers will be feeling a sense of betrayal. It was just a couple of months ago written off completely. You can just see the appetite for accommodation. It is diminishing. People are watching their budgets very, very carefully. And it is going to have a detrimental effect. It may not sound a lot, but it's a drip feed. And I think we in hospitality do feel that we are being particularly targeted.
The Mayor has highlighted transport as one area that could benefit from the fund, improving bus services in rural areas or increasing the number of trains that run between York and Scarborough. What's not clear at this stage is whether some visitor attractions, like city cruises in York, will also see their customers having to pay the fee.
I think comparing to sort of the visitor European cities is all on accommodation. I'd be quite surprised, but we'd engage with the consultation and we'd sort of see what it's all about. If we have to levy it on our attractions, we'd have to go through the scheme of things, see how it's being levied. As long as it's fair, as long as it's transparent, as long as it's done in the right way, I wouldn't be too against it, but it needs to be done the right way.
From the Peak District to the Yorkshire coast, all of our region's mayors now have the power to set a visitor levy. But it's not unanimously supported by the hospitality industry. Now, mayors across the north had a series of demands for the Chancellor of the Exchequer. They wrote her a letter asking for the two-child benefit cap to be lifted. That has happened. They wanted a replacement for EU funding, money that we lost when we left the EU. £13 billion has been announced for mayoral authorities. We'll have to see how that divides up, how much goes to North, South and West Yorkshire. And then the other thing they wanted was detail and money for Northern Powerhouse Rail, a series of rail upgrades across the country. A commitment to that, but still no money from the Chancellor. But overall, I think the mayors will feel it's been a good day today. Money for them, but also ways for them to raise money locally, as we'll see with the visitor levy here in York.
Spencer, thank you. OK, so what do these changes mean for us here in Yorkshire? Mohammed Ali Nasir is an Associate Professor in Economics at the University of Leeds. Spencer mentioned a couple of things there that the mayors will be happy with. But in terms of the North, were there many mentions for us specifically?
So as such, in this budget, there are no big announcement targeting any region and also not the Yorkshire. But there is mention of Leeds City Fund, which would be funded by the business rate. And there's also some funding about 13 billion for mayors. Some of part of that would come to the mayor in Yorkshire. So those are some small mentions. But this budget is mainly about balancing government books and increasing taxation so that the government can and Chancellor can meet their fiscal rule. And there's a bit of spending also.
Yeah, let's drill down a bit into that, because people will be watching this and saying, how does this impact me? Yeah. Will I feel better? So who is going to benefit from this, budget?
There are some winners and there are some losers of this budget. So it depends whom you ask. So if you are a low-income earner, if you are on minimum wage, if you are a pensioner, you will see a rise in your income. But if you are if you are owner of a mansion which is valued more than 2 million, or you are a high income earner because the income tax thresholds, they are frozen, or if you are a business which employs people and pay minimum wage, then your wage will go up. Or if you are an EV driver, so you'll be paying some levy on driving an electric vehicle. So it really depends whom you ask. There are winners and there are losers of this budget.
Mohammed, thank you very much for your time. And we will, of course, be looking at this tomorrow on Look North as well, as James Vincent mentioned. OK, we're going to move on now away from the budget. A second child has been arrested on suspicion of conspiracy to commit murder following a shooting in Sheffield city centre. A 16-year-old boy is still in a critical condition in hospital after the incident on London Road, which happened at about 5:15 on Monday afternoon. A 15-year-old boy was arrested yesterday, and police say a second child aged 16 has also been arrested and is in police custody. A trial has heard that a man accused of murdering a mum and her 3 children in a house fire in Bradford told police he had no memory of the incident. 29-year-old Bryony Gowith and her 3 children, 9-year-old Dennisty, 5-year-old Oscar and 22-month-old Aubrey Birtle, all died in the fire in August 2024. A jury was told that 40-year-old Sharaz Ali was dragged out of the house by police and refused medical treatment at the scene. He spent several months in a coma, suffered severe burns and lost his voice. Mr Ali and another man, Calum Sunderland, deny 4 counts of murder and a charge of attempted murder. Health and safety measures have been introduced after dead birds at a lakeside in Doncaster were found with bird flu. Doncaster Council confirmed the birds had avian influenza and are working with DEFRA and the Animal and Plant Health Agency to control the disease. The UK Health Security Agency says the risk to human health is low and has advised people not to touch any visibly sick birds in parks or lakeside areas. Now, in lighter news now, a 10-year-old boy has just been named Young Person of the Year by disability charity Sense. Asa from Shipley helps look after his mum, who became disabled during the COVID-19 pandemic. Asa invented his useful hour, which is when he does all the household jobs that Rai, a single parent, struggles to do. Olivia Richwald has been to meet him.
This is 10-year-old Asa from Shipley. He's very bright, autistic and helps to care for his disabled mum, Rye.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Is gone from being just like my arms and legs, like picking things up for me or grabbing things for me, to being just like a fundamental part of like how we exist together. So he's learned how to cook, how to make our tea, how to make breakfast, do stuff around the house, like do some of the washing, hang the washing out.
Yeah, that's it. Lift it up and over. There you go.
I have the helpful hour, which is like I just do like all the things which need to be done, and then I go to bed. Like, let's say the falling tooth ring, done. My bedroom needs tidying, done.
Rye was a healthy, active yoga teacher until they caught COVID-19 during the pandemic. It's left them with ME and a host of other serious health problems. Rye now uses a wheelchair.
Asa was only 5 when I got ill. I've got loads of lovely photographs of even from 2020 when we camped in the garden and all of these things that we did. And then all of a sudden overnight I went from that to being in bed and not really able to do anything else at all.
Asa has just been named Young Person of the Year by the disability charity Sense.
Obviously I want him to be a kid, and I don't want him to be carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders or our little world here.
Thank you.
But it's really nice to see him learning his life, you know, these really useful life lessons. So, you know, he knows how to put a bin bag in a bin, and you'd be surprised how many people don't know how to do that.
I'm still in shock, to be honest. I still think it's just kind of a dream, really. I take all the things I can do for granted. And then when I realised other 9 and 10-year-olds can't do them, I realise.
Asa says the help he gives Rye is not a chore. He enjoys it and he's proud of all his skills. Olivia Richwald, BBC Look North, Shipley.
What a superstar he is. You know, many of you may know that I fancy myself as a bit of a tall blondine, so this time of year I love to see the ice skates rinks popping up in our region. One is in Leeds, and this evening skaters there are attempting to set a record for the most high fives in 30 seconds. It's part of a celebration of the 70th anniversary of the Guinness World Records, and more than 200 people have lent their hands for the occasion. Nicola Rees has been on the ice for us.
Well, there's been a lot of serious news around today, hasn't there? So allow us to lighten the mood a little bit from this ice rink in Leeds, where we are attempting to set a new world record for the number of high fives recorded in 30 seconds. Ali Grit, tell us why.
Hello. We just wanted something a little bit fun, a little bit festive to celebrate the ice rink and the Christmas season here at the shopping centre.
So you have drafted in some real speed skaters. These guys are from a legendary ice skating team. And how many have they got to record then?
So the record itself hasn't actually been set before. So the great news is everyone here tonight will be setting a world record for the most high fives in 30 seconds.
So at the moment there is a record for the highest number of high fives recorded in 1 minute. That's held by a high school in Japan.
That's right.
But there is no record for a 30-second period.
Yep.
So it's a bit of a technicality, but you're taking that.
Exactly, we'll take that. It's all in the Christmas spirit, isn't it? So.
And how's it going to work?
So the guys are going to be kitted up in all sorts of cameras, head cameras, body cameras, and we've recorded everyone as they've come into the building tonight, so we'll know exactly how many high fives they've captured, and we're going to send that footage off, hopefully get it verified.
Now let's have a chat with these players. Don't leave us hanging, guys. Liam and Bally. No, other way around. Liam and Bally. Tell us, what's your technique tonight? What's your tactic?
Just keep an eye on the hands, and I think just try to hit every single one of them.
How much have you been practicing, Liam?
I think there was a little bit of training going around the dressing room this morning at our training, but yeah, I think we're ready for it.
I've noticed that you've brought a few fans here tonight as well. They're all excited about a big game this weekend, aren't they?
Yeah, that's true. We're playing at home on Saturday and then down to Basingstoke on Sunday.
So this is good practice, just getting the legs warmed up.
Yeah, anytime you can get on the ice and be around the fans, I think it's exciting.
You've got 200 high fives to do in 30 seconds. Get practicing, come on. You've not got long, get back to it.
We will, we should.
And we'll add one more to the mix, Ali. History in the making here tonight, there you are.
Fantastic. While we're feeling a little bit festive, hands up if you've put your Christmas tree up in November.
The shame of it.
Shame of it. Guess whose tree that is? Yep, you guessed it. He's getting his money's worth out of it in November. Paul Hudson put his tree up last weekend.
Well, I didn't, but my partner did.
What were you thinking?
Well, the shame of it.
The QR code is on the screen. If you've put your tree up, let's name and shame you. Get a picture of it on Look North, and we'll show it throughout the week.
Well, it's my little helper, my 2-year-old daughter Anya, who was egging me on. I'm usually quite bar humbug about these things, Amy.
I know, you've taken me by surprise.
I know, so last weekend, it's the earliest ever. Are you going to get yours up at the weekend?
Absolutely not.
Come on, don't be so miserable.
Far too early.
Right. Let's have a look at the pictures, because it was very sort of Christmassy this morning. That's a drone picture there that was taken in Bulmer. Absolutely stunning stuff there. And, well, it was -6 at Topcliffe. That's Skipton, beautiful sunrise. It almost looks like it's been snowing there, but it was a deep hoarfrost this morning. But what a change in the next 24 hours. Tomorrow, believe it or not, we could be up to +15 in places. If you've got any pictures you'd like to send in on X, on Instagram, or the Weather Watcher website, please do so. So yes, very, very mild over the next 24 hours. So we're going from -6 to +15. So that's a 21 degrees Celsius swing by the time we go to tomorrow afternoon, but it will be rather cloudy. Always a risk of a bit of patchy rain, especially over the hills. This cold front bringing a bit of patchy rain late tomorrow, and then Friday a mixture of sunny spells with some patchy outbreaks of rain, then loads of uncertainty for the weekend. If we take these charts at face value, it means after a fine start on Saturday, rain will spread from the south, leaving Sunday fine. But there are timing differences with this, so I'll give you maybe a more detailed forecast tomorrow about what the weekend looks like. Now, there's a warm front. It's bringing rain and drizzle, but behind it, we've got that very mild air. So although it's a bit grotty out there at the moment with rain and drizzle, a bit of mist and patchy fog over the hills, temperatures will actually level off and start rising. So I think minimum temperatures right now around 5 or 6, but in double figures by the end of the night. So tomorrow's high water time, Scarborough 8:32, Bridlington at 8:58. So a cloudy day tomorrow. Bit of patchy rain and drizzle, mainly across these more northern and western areas. Certainly to the east of high ground, it should be basically dry. And as that breeze freshens, there could be a little bit of sunshine. But just check these temperatures out. Exceptional for late November. 14, possibly 15. Leeds over towards Wetherby. That's 59 degrees Fahrenheit. That is the forecast.
You're going to tell me next you finished all your Christmas shopping?
I haven't even started.
Well, is that because you don't do any?
Yeah, I can't be bothered with that.
Thought so. Why does it not surprise us? That is it from us, Mark Ansell, with your late news. Bye-bye for now. Enjoy your evening.